Some rooms feel alive, others feel empty. But this one? This one knew me. My name is Daniel Rossi, and I never believed in haunted places. Not until the day the walls started whispering my name. It all started early last spring. I'd just been through a messy breakup, walked away from a dead-end job, and was completely out of excuses not to start over. So I packed my life into 2 suitcases and moved to Florence. I found what seemed like the perfect spot, a furnished room in an old building, the kind with soaring high ceilings, or wooden floors, and dusty windows that looked out over the Arno River. The landlady, Signora Bellini, was a quiet woman, maybe in her 60s. She gave me a small, knowing smile as she handed over the heavy, ornate keys. "This room," she said, her voice soft. "It likes good listeners." I laughed, trying to break the slightly odd tension. "Well, I'll try not to argue with the furniture then." Her smile didn't change, not even a little. "It doesn't like jokes," she replied, and that's when a little shiver went down my spine. The first night was peaceful, almost too peaceful. There was no traffic noise, no loud neighbors, just the rhythmic, gentle creak of old wooden beams settling, like the house was breathing. But then, around midnight, I heard it. A soft sound, like someone tearing paper very, very slowly, far away. And then a whisper. "Daniel." I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs. It was faint, low, but it was unmistakable. Someone had said my name. I jumped out of bed, adrenaline coursing through me, and checked the hallway. It was completely empty. I peered out the window, nothing but darkness, and the distant silver hum of the river. When I turned back into the room, the door, which I had definitely left open, was shut. The next morning, I convinced myself it was all just a dream, a product of a stressed mind in a new place. But as I was making coffee, something caught my eye. Faint letters scratched into the wall just above the bed. "Welcome back, Daniel." I ran my fingers over them. They were old marks, almost erased under countless layers of paint. I must have just missed them before. Yeah, that had to be it. Maybe. That night, I slept with every single light on. It didn't matter. Around midnight, like clockwork, it came again. The same whisper. "Daniel." This time, I didn't freeze. I whispered back into the darkness. "Who's there?" The voice replied, and this time, it felt closer, as if it was right next to my ear. "You're late." That was it for me. I packed my bag first thing the next morning. I found the landlady and told her I was leaving. She didn't look surprised in the slightest. "Most people don't stay long," she said, wiping a glass with a cloth. "Is it because of the noise?" I asked, hoping for a rational explanation. She tilted her head, looking at me with those unreadable eyes. "No, it's because of the name." I frowned. "What name?" She set the glass down. "The room only speaks to one person. Once it remembers you, it doesn't forget." I checked into a hotel across town that night. Or at least I tried to sleep. But every time I closed my eyes, I heard it. That persistent, chilling whisper. "Daniel." I changed rooms. I left Florence and went to another city. It didn't matter. The whisper followed me. Once I was sitting in a cafe in Rome. The lights flickered for a second, and in the dark reflection of the window, I saw it. The room. It was behind me, clear as day. The same bed, the same walls, and the same faint letters above the headboard. "Welcome back." In a panic, I called Signora Bellini again and again. She never answered, so I did the only thing I could think of. I drove back to Florence. The building looked older, emptier, as if the few weeks I'd been gone had aged it by decades. Inside, the halls were cold and dark, a thick layer of dust covering everything. There were no signs of life anywhere. But when I reached the door to my old room, it was ajar. A sliver of darkness beckoning me in. I pushed it open. The furniture was gone. Everything. Only the bed remained, stark and lonely in the center of the room. And the walls. The letters were clearer now. They looked fresh. You shouldn't have left, Daniel. I spun around to leave, but the door slammed shut on its own. The air in the room grew thick, heavy, humming with a low, soft energy. I could hear breathing. Mine, ragged and fast, and something else. A slow, steady rhythm that wasn't human. "What do you want from me?" I whispered, my voice trembling. The voice came from everywhere at once, surrounding me. To finish. Finish what? I choked out. What we started? Then the walls began to move. It was subtle at first. A slow, organic pulsing, as if something massive was breathing just beneath the layers of paint. The scratched letters started spreading across the plaster like veins, carving themselves into new sentences. Don't leave again. Stay. Home. I backed away, stumbling towards the window, my only hope for escape. But when I looked outside, the city was gone. In its place was an endless, impossible vista of rooms, stretching into the horizon, all identical to the one I was in. And on the wall of each one, a name. Different handwriting, different eras. And I could hear them, hundreds of faint voices whispering through the air. Marco, Isabella, Lucia, and then my own name echoing among them. Daniel. I realized it then. This wasn't a house. It was a memory, a collection, a trap built for everyone who'd ever been remembered by this room. I ran to the door, pulling desperately at the handle. It opened, but only onto another version of the same room. I ran through it, and the next door opened onto another, and another, each one older, dustier, emptier than the last. In the very last room, I found a mirror leaning against the far wall. I stared into it and saw my own terrified face. But behind my reflection, the room was full again, full of people, all of them standing silently, watching me. And every single one of them had my face. The voice spoke one last time, a final, cold statement of fact. Every name needs a room. Every room needs a name. You gave me yours. My voice was barely a whisper. Take it back. I can't, it said. You're part of me now. The walls started closing in, the very air vibrating like a monstrous heartbeat. I opened my mouth to scream, but no sound came out. And then, just silence. When I woke up, I was lying on the bed. The room was clean again. Fresh paint on the walls. New furniture, tastefully arranged. Then, a knock at the door. I opened it to find a young woman, maybe in her early 20s, smiling and holding a suitcase. "Hi," she said cheerfully. "I'm moving in." Signora Bellini said this room was available. I smiled back, a calm, easy smile that didn't feel like my own. "Of course," I said, stepping aside. "Come in." She looked around the room, her eyes wide with admiration. "Wow, it's beautiful," she said. Then she looked at me. "So, what's your name?" I paused for a moment, but before I could answer, a new voice whispered from the walls, soft and possessive. "Daniel, they say some rooms remember everyone who's ever lived inside them. Mine doesn't. It only remembers one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tailies from the shadows. Stay safe and check your walls.